Howdy, y'all. So, taking a look at something from Pinty. Now, Pinty sent this over for review. I did communicate with them that it would be an honest review. Have no experience with Pinty products. They sent me what they call their flagship scope, and let's go ahead and take a look at this. The box got a little beat up from shipping or whatever, not sure. This weighs a lot, but we'll just take a look at what we get in the box here. I have to open this up because there's a bunch of stuff in here. We get a couple of 2032 batteries. We get some smaller batteries here. A cleaning cloth. We get this battery. We get 3 different Allen wrenches. See what we get here. Get instructions for laser. Get rifle scope instructions. Basic instructions there. And you get instructions for a red dot. They do include a bore sighter. Got a mount here. I'm assuming that's probably for the laser. The thing, yep. We get the laser. It is kind of bulky. Set that aside. We get a couple of lens caps to be here. We get a red dot, the cover. That is not the best quality. Definitely get kind of a tint from that glass, windage and elevation there, and it's on this titanium mount. We get our optic, and this thing's pretty crazy. Silica pack, which as always, I suggest not eating. I'm kind of looking for the toothpick and tweezers because this is kind of reminding me of like a knockoff Swiss Army knife or something. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything on it. You got your windage and elevation. This is illuminated scope. Your illumination's here. Battery goes right here. You'll just unscrew that. Diopter ring, which I can barely move. There we go. Your throw lever, which is also pretty stiff. So 4 to 16 power. Clicks are somewhat audible. Then you got this crazy thing up here. Now, without even having looked through the glass or anything else, I can tell you I hate this. I hate this immensely. I don't know the purpose of this. I guess if you wanted to bash someone with it, you could. It's sharp. It's going to catch on things. I think this is a bad design. You got the mount here. I don't particularly care for mounts like this with just the screw exposed like that. I prefer the set in, hex so you can really lock it down. But the mount is built into the scope, so it comes like this, and that's how you're going to have to mount it. Now, I'll tell you, I will put all the accessories on here and show you what it's supposed to look like. This thing is way too tacticool for me. I would not, well, first of all, I can tell you a laser and a red dot sight to me is redundant. For close up, I would use one or the other, and this thing's pretty bulky, so I would maybe mount this and not mount the laser. But that's just me. I'm going to mount everything up like it's supposed to be, show you what it's supposed to look like, but I wouldn't probably use, well, really probably any of this. And it feels a little cheap. Now it is, I'll say this, for about $100, you can get a pretty nice scope from Monstrum or from CB Life or some of the other companies. I think this is a poor design personally. This stuff going on up here on the scope front, that's really sharp, thin metal. I don't think that's a good design. I don't like the mount, kind of being a part of the scope. What if I don't want to use this mount? I guess it's cool for somebody. So we're gonna get everything mounted up, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. We'll look through the glass, and then we'll decide what to do with this thing. They do say on this that, well, they say a lot of things. I don't know. We're just gonna take a look. So on the laser, you'll unscrew this end cap here on the back, which holds your switch. You see the switch is kind of flopping around in there. And I put the battery in upside down, which kind of makes me a dumbass. Say, maybe not the best machining. The threads are a little rough. Laser does work, but this thing is really, really bulky. You do have your windage and elevation. They're underneath. Turret covers. They're going to be an Allen wrench adjustment. I don't know why that unscrews, but there's your laser. The on-off switch is just back there. Let's take a look at this dot here. I don't even think I want to mess with this. Battery's going to be underneath this little switch back here, on and off. This thing, they have a battery in there for me. Well, that's nice. Not super bright. does work. So luckily I don't have to install a battery in that. This switch is pretty chicken shit though. So we'll get this stuff on here. All right, so all mounted up with every tacticool thing you could think of. Got your red dot, your laser. It's it's the idea of having a red dot on top like this. Not a terrible idea. I would rather have an offset mount separate, but the laser is redundant to the red dot. This thing has too much stuff on it. It's heavy, it's bulky, these edges are super damn sharp, and everything on here feels just kind of cheaply made. Haven't even looked at the glass yet. I'm still looking for that toothpick and tweezers that got to be included in this thing somewhere. I wouldn't, if you're going for just a tactical effect, you want to put this on a air rifle or something, or put it on a 22 and pretend you're Rambo, or I don't know, Rambo was cooler than that. At any rate, I probably wouldn't, well, I would not put this on anything and take it to the range for just fear of being laughed out of the range. But I'll evaluate the scope itself. I'll look through the glass and stuff. I would leave this stuff off of here. You're not going to battle with one of these, and if you are, you're not going to last long. This stuff is just, it's heavy, it's bulky, everything's kind of sharp, everything feels kind of a little cheap. It's not machined very well. So that's where I stand on it so far. Let's take a look through the glass.
All right, folks, so wrapping up on the Pinty Swiss Army knife scope. I tried to take a look through the glass. I couldn't get my camera to focus. Here's what I'll tell you. I think there's maybe some quality control issues. Another channel, a friend of mine, Freedom by Me, he had a scope that he couldn't even really, hardly see through the glass. The glass on mine was actually fairly clear. I was looking out to about 70 yards, and it was fairly clear. But I couldn't get my camera to really work. So I'll say this, I probably wouldn't. I would just maybe avoid it unless, like I said, you want to be super tactical and you want to put a bunch of stuff in it. The problem is that scope is heavy, and I think the parts aren't very well machined, and I actually nicked my hand on the front of that scope where they put the skull crusher for whatever reason. Kind of nicked my finger a little bit on there, and it kind of pissed me off, and that was pretty much the end of my testing on that scope. I did that while I was mounting it up. Giving it a fair evaluation still. If you want a bunch of features and you want to put it on like an air rifle or an airsoft gun or a 22, and you want to just have a bunch of options and look super tactical, this scope is maybe okay. I wouldn't seriously use it for anything. I just think there's too much going on and it's not well enough done. Well, that's what I got for you today, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Also check out my campsite page. I put all the companies I am an affiliate of, and there's some deals in there for you as well. That'll be in the description. And I will see y'all next time I make a video. Y'all stay safe.